I think the Occlumency lessons in the Order of the Phoenix were a red herring, a trap that Dumbledore sets up for Voldemort. Dumbledore has known Harry's probably a Horcrux, or at least been pretty sure, since the end of the Chamber of Secrets, when Harry gives him the diary and explains he can talk Parseltongue. Then in the Order of the Phoenix, Harry has a connection to Voldemort's mind, but not just Voldemort's, Nagini's as well. There is a scene in the Order of the Phoenix, after Harry has told Dumbledore about his vision from Nagini's perspective of her attacking Arthur, where Dumbledore makes these coiling smoke snakes, and that's where he seems to realise that Nagini is a Horcrux too. And that's not long before Dumbledore orders Snape to start teaching Harry Occlumency. You'll notice in those lessons, Snape really doesn't do any teaching. He just says to Harry, close your mind, without saying how. Snape also tells Harry that Dumbledore thinks Voldemort was unaware of their connection until Harry had that glimpse into Nagini attacking Arthur. So, while Harry is learning Occlumency, Voldemort is aware of the connection between their minds. In the same way that Voldemort had no idea when Harry was accessing his thoughts and feelings, Harry might have no idea if Voldemort was doing the same thing to him. So Voldemort may well have been accessing Harry's thoughts at any point without Harry knowing. Meaning, there's a good chance he would have known that Dumbledore ordered the Occlumency lessons. Which makes it the perfect setup for a red herring. Because I don't think that Occlumency would have ever worked in shutting down that connection, and I think Dumbledore knew that too. First, did you ever wonder why in the Goblet of Fire Harry was so headstrong and able to fight the Imperius Curse so convincingly, but then in Occlumency lessons he couldn't shut his mind off at all? Harry fights off the Imperius Curse from Barty Crouch Jr. in Defense Against the Dark Arts, and he fights it off again against Voldemort himself in the graveyard at the end of the book. So why can Harry stop his mind being infiltrated by Voldemort using the Imperius Curse, but not with Occlumency? And if Occlumency is so important, why is Dumbledore so willing to just let the lessons stop? I think Dumbledore knows Occlumency would have never worked in stopping that connection, and that was never the point of the lessons. Because the connection between Harry and Voldemort is a connection of the soul, not of the mind. I think Harry only sees Voldemort's thoughts because he's a Horcrux, and he only sees Nagini attacking Arthur because Nagini is a Horcrux as well. That Horcrux connection also explains why Harry is so drawn to all the other Horcruxes. In the Order of the Phoenix, when they're cleaning out Grimmauld Place, he's drawn to the locket. In the Half-Blood Prince, when he goes through the Room of Requirements, he's drawn to the tiara. And in the Deathly Hallows, he's drawn to Godric's Hollow, when Nagini the Horcrux is also there. Dumbledore knew Harry was a Horcrux, and then from Harry's vision, he knew Nagini was a Horcrux too. If Voldemort finds out Harry's a Horcrux, it ruins Dumbledore's entire plan, as we learn about in the Deathly Hallows. So I think Dumbledore stages the Occlumency lessons with Snape as a red herring for Voldemort to throw him off the scent of Harry being a Horcrux. And that's why Occlumency never works for Harry despite him being headstrong, and why Dumbledore's more than happy to let Snape stop teaching Harry after only a couple of lessons, because they've served their purpose.